What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. I hope everybody had an amazing week. I definitely did. It's as always, man. The days just kind of fly by, but that's a good thing because I am here with you guys tonight. So tonight, just like any other night that we're on here, we try to have the most interesting and thought provoking guests that we can possibly give to you. And tonight is no different. This young lady to my right, as I'm facing the computer, is an author. She's an entrepreneur. She's a business owner, a CEO. Um, you name it, she does it. She has written several books. She has created a platform for aspiring authors to come on board and make their visions come true. But I'm not going to steal her thunder. For those of you who may not be familiar with Miss Chinyere, I'm going to give her a moment to kind of reintroduce herself and just give a little background to who she is and some of the things that she has going on. So with that being said, Miss Chinyere, you have the floor.
Thank you. Like he said, my name is Miss Chinyere Udeh. I'm a first generation Nigerian American, born in Nigeria, raised in America, um, in Baltimore to be exact. And I am the CEO, founder, and author of All Martha's Writers. I'm also an international author, 2024 globally recognized author that uses literature writing to address social issues, advocate for reform, and call for transparency. Um, I do have a publishing firm that I encourage people to tell their story the correct way before someone tells it the wrong way for them.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. First, I want to thank you for coming on the platform. I truly appreciate it. I know you could be a million and one other places, but you saw fit to come on this platform, and so I don't take that for granted. Thank you very much.
Thank
Um,
you.
you gave us a little background, to who you are and some of the things that you have going on. Um, but I like to start from, the grassroots or the beginning. Um, where does your journey, if somebody asked you to ask you where your journey started as far as becoming this author and this creative, where would you say the story begins? Where does your story start?
My story started in the Division of Corrections. I was a correctional officer, and one thing led to another. The state medical doctor said that I couldn't read, I couldn't write, I couldn't speak English.
Wow.
Because I know because he claimed because of my immigrant background, and he advised my department to terminate my employment. Um, One thing led to another. But I tried to prove my innocence since I wasn't a doctor. So I wrote one of this book, Corruption in the Division of Correction, Volume 1, just to show that the doctor was lying, that I could read, write, speak English, thinking that I was going to get my job back. I never got my job back. um, I still got fired anyway. So ever since then, I continue writing, just to keep proving that I could read, write, speak English, and acknowledge my immigrant background as well. So the whole journey all started in corrections.
Wow. Did you always did I mean, had none of this happened, do you think that you would have become an author? Was that always the plan, or did you just kind of decide in the midst of what you were going through?
It just spontaneously happened. I just decided, if none of that never happened. I'm pretty sure probably I'll be somewhere still in correction, maybe case management, maybe probation officer, somewhere still in the system. But it happened. The writing aspect came up, and I have been moving ever since then.
So tell me, how many since you found this love of writing and creating, how many books have you been able to write?
So far it is 16 books, including our Christmas stories like Santa Claus Goes to Jail. I try to put
Okay.
I
Okay.
try I try to put Santa Claus where Santa Claus can never be imagined being. I do have Divorced Santa. Um
Okay.
and I have Mrs. Claus Hidden Secret. But a total is 16, 15 published. The last one is what will be coming out hopefully by next month.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Take it
What
out.
what 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 interests you about being in the correction system? Like, why what drew you to that? Like, you see, I was reading your bio and it seems like you're truly, committed to serving in that system. What drew you to it, and why are you still there?
Well, the truth of the matter is growing up or as a kid, I have ever been drawn to uniform, and it's not men on jumpsuits
Right.
uniform.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I have always been drawn to uniform, and I have always like have this inside of me to do right. When I see people do, it has always been in me. You know, then and I also was watching American movies when I was in Nigeria as a kid. So I'm like, hmm, I like this. When I come to America, I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
And
Okay.
surely, when I came to America with the same inner born that I already have, seeing justice served and the movies that I watched, everything just ignited me to want to go further into law enforcement and criminal justice.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Um, you go you the you seem to go by another, but you go by another name, Chioma. I don't know if I said that right. You Chioma Udemy. Is that you, or is that somebody else? Is that an alter ego? Is that like your Sasha Fierce, or what is that?
Actually, Chalma Udemy is my friend. What happened was the parent brought her here when she was 17, and I was brought here when I was 17. So we all met together, went to high school, rode the same school bus, do everything. When it was time for us to go off to college, Chama wanted to do nursing. I wanted to go into law enforcement. So I pushed Chama into coming with me. So when this stuff that happened to her happened, I'm like, okay, I brought you here. I gotta take care of it. At the end of the day, she did pay me to ghostwrite for her because it's part of the services that we offer here at All Mothers. So, and the reason my name is on the cover is because she believed that I'm already a known face and a familiar name, and the book title actually branded in with my author's image. So I'm like, sure, I'll be the front man. So that's how it happened.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
I
So
know.
So you're I'm interested to talk about, before we go into All Marthas, I want to talk a little bit about your current book, the corruption, and in the corrections. Um, what spurred you to write it, and what is, can you give us like a summary, like what is this book meant to do, or what is this book about? What are you trying to express?
Okay. You mean the corporate corruption and the unspoken rules?
Right.
Or okay. Um, Corporate corruption and unspoken rules, it just acknowledging what we all have already known about the systemic racism, and it dived deeper into how the systemic racism actually have affected corporate American workforce by who gets hired, whom gets fired, whom get promoted, whom gets, we all know the drill. According to the book and Chama, she said that corporate corruption, she said that systemic racism is the direct founder of corporate corruption and its unspoken rules. So the book is just to amplify what we already know about systemic racism, about people of color, black people, immigrant, but now it's diving deeper into the corporate American workforce and how deeply that have rooted and how everything there is working. She equally expanded it by telling her own story in towards her journey into corporate American workforce. And oftentimes we all know about the sentencing disparity, housing, and every other thing. But this book just centered around the systemic racism that affected the corporate American workforce. Yeah.
Coming from a different culture, a different nation, a different country, into uh into a totally different culture, a totally different nation, a totally different way of life. um what was your feelings like? How was it difficult for you to kind of adapt to American culture and American ways of living? What what was that journey like?
Knowing that I came when I was 17, so I am still in the growing stage and adaptation stage. So it wasn't that really hard. However, when it comes to the educational aspect of it in high school, I came in when I was in high school, so the educational system, when it comes to the rudeness of how students are to the teachers compared to where I was coming from, was a bit of a culture shock. But in reference to when Chalmer got a culture shock, she was surprised that her Caucasian leaders, supervisors, and peers were surprised that she could speak English properly and her hygienic was up to date and
Wow.
her
Wow.
and her toenails was all accounted for. Who doesn't
Wow.
have a toenail?
Wow. Wow.
2026.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, tell, like, coming in your experience growing up in Africa, um, how is racism looked at in Africa compared to how it's looked at here? And furthermore, I've always wanted to ask this, if from a person, a native ever, how do you guys view slavery? And Black history and that type of thing. Like, is that something that you guys hold and find important? Is that something that you guys talk about or think about or dwell on? Like I said, like slavery and civil rights and that type of thing. How is it viewed versus the United States?
Well, being as though that I left the game when I was 17, I could tell from 17, we don't have racism in the continent of Africa.
Really?
Yeah. What we have is tribalism. And tribalism is I came from the Iba tribe. We have Yoruba, Hausa, Efik. So each tribe will be like boasting that their tribe is the best, you
Hmm.
know. So we have a tribal arrival that all the tribe want to outdo each other, you know. And someone could say, "You're not from my tribe. I can't marry you. I want, you know." So it's more like a tribal stuff. It's nothing about racism. And when it comes to the continent, in as much as I haven't traveled there, it's more like, which country are you from? You know, people always say Ghana jollof rice is better than Nigerian jollof rice, you know. So we just like then Nigeria saying that our jollof rice is the best. So this is the kind of atmosphere that I was born into. No one just see you and magically dislike you because you black. That's not what we do. I mean, so, but when I came here, when I was growing up, I was still looking at it with the same eye lens until I went to college and started hanging out with African Americans because I grew up in Baltimore. It is, you know. So I started noticing how things are done. Then I started asking questions. Why is this like this? Why is this like this? And the more in depth I go in, the more I try to get to the root cause of why is all this? You know, I just learned that is a systemic issue that was ingrained when this place was created. But when it comes to the Black History Month, civil rights, and stuff like that, I can only speak for myself because I have been here for 20 years. So I have merged into the system when it comes to when I left high school was when I left African community and joined African American community in order to prepare for my future because the box the system wanted us to go, which is immigrant, was medical sector, and I'm not going there. So I left the community and came to American community. So, but yeah, I observe every single one of that, you know.
So, what is your overall view of it all? Like, does it? Because you seem you seem very happy, and you seem very at peace, and you seem very like comfortable in your own skin. Do you feel? Does it ever make you angry? Do you ever feel frustrated, or
Um,
what?
to be honest, I do sometimes, but
Hmm.
sometimes I don't let things that I don't have control over
Hmm.
to take a sleepless night off me. The
Right.
one that kills me the most is when I get criminally profiled for being born in Nigeria. I'm
Wow.
like, I didn't want to do
Right.
nothing.
Right. Right.
And it kind of, I reflect back, I'm like, is this how African Americans feel? You know?
Yeah.
So
I'm always, interested in know, like when when I come across, people from, from Africa, natives of Africa and the different things. I'm always curious to know, like how do you guys, like I said, how you guys see um race relations and racism. Do you look at it in a different way? Because I watch a lot of movies, African movies. I've actually come to like some, like watching them or whatever. And um if I had to judge just based off of the films that I've seen, it seems like there's not much interaction with any other races other than African, because all the casts are African, and it's all, it's not, there's really no, they really don't show much interaction,
I know.
between the two.
I
So
know.
I'm like, I'm always curious. But
Everything, even to piggyback, everything is more like upbringing, willingness to explore, you know, and experience. But one thing I know for a fact is, um, here teaches you how to hate. It teaches you how to hate from someone that is coming from a place, not like we don't have our own problem, but you don't just see a human being and just hate them, you know?
right,
So when I'm like Bubby, and this is just me,
right,
and somebody be like, something wrong with her.
right, right. I get it. I get it.
In reality, it's nothing. But when it comes to the reason why it seems like everyone just stay on their own, it's more like what can you take? The limitation of what you could take versus someone else is different. When I came into the African American community, because in my brain, I know that a day would come when I would run for a congressional position
Wow.
in yes. So the earlier I get acquainted with the people that I will be serving in the future, the better. So after high school, when I went into African American community, I had a lot of pushbacks, you know,
Mm,
But- and people look at me funny. What is this African girl doing here? You know, but
mhm.
I stayed. But at the end of the day, who is willing to condone and endure that magnitude? Even up until today, they still look at me sideways.
Yeah. I, okay.
you know, and sometimes they ask me, they just assume that I either like Caucasian men or African men, but
Mhm.
they get shot in the leg when I say I like African American men.
Okay.
So it's all depend on someone's willingness to endure when you are willing to explore other cultures or other people. It's
Mm,
just that willingness. Some people doesn't. Me, I do have it. So that's why I'm just wandering around.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about all Marthas. What is all Marthas, and what does it do? Like if I'm an author, I'm trying to write a book. Why would I come to all Marthas? What would I get from all Marthas?
Well, if you already written your book and have edited it, we will help you to publish it through KDP Amazon. The reason why I utilize KDP Amazon is because of the transparency, because your money, your royalty will be paid directly to your account. You will
Hmm.
be able to go into your account and see how everything is there. But when you go to other publishing firm, you would not be able to know exactly in real time how your books are selling, you
Hmm.
know? So that is one thing that differentiate all authors from other publishing firms. And also our integrity to do the right thing, even when no one is watching and when it's not beneficial to us, also set us apart from others. So that's one of the main reason why you should or somebody should come to all authors. And when it comes to the ghost writing, we ghost write for you, we edit for you, we give you like 25% of publishing gig, and we market for you, we put it on our website, we do an ongoing marketing and visibility of your book lifetime as long as all Martha's is in business.
Okay.
So yes, that's
How long?
another thing.
How long has All Martha's been in business? Speaking of,
5 years.
wow. And what has the reception been like? Like, have you how many authors have you worked with since you started? Approximately, you may not know the exact number, but I'm saying if you had to guess, well, how many authors have you worked with?
I have worked with more than 20. However, I have only published two. The reason why is people like email me, text me, hey, I'm trying to do this. How do I do that? Consultation. I will guide them, do it this way, do it that way. If you want to come back to all authors, it's great, but I want you to start like, knowing exactly what you're doing. So, in as much as they don't come back to publish with us, but I have helped roughly 20 or more.
And how does that make you feel? Like when you see somebody that you've helped, somebody that you've published, somebody that you've worked with, and you see them, you know, being successful. What does that feel like for you?
I'm happy because they are winning and winning. When I started my publishing journey, I experienced a lot of dishonest publishing firm. They took my money, they took my book, they took my copyright, they took everything from me. So, and that was one of the main reasons that I said, I don't want another author going through what I went through because that could discourage somebody from actually pursuing writing because of all the scams that are out here. So that was the main reason to help people get to the next step and know their left and right in a publishing planet. That's all I am all about.
Okay. Who would you say? Who would you say right now is your biggest influence? Who do you? Who would you say is the person that you admire most right now?
Human or spirit? Okay.
you tell me. You tell me.
I admire Jesus.
Okay. 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 Now, who a human person now, like a person, like who would you say motivates you or inspires you?
I say myself and haters. When people say that I cannot do it
Mhm.
or my type shouldn't do it, that kind of fuels me to want to do it, to show them that I can and I will. So basically, it's more like being underestimated or undermined by anybody fuels me to do more.
Okay. So nowadays, right, you see, I'm sure you watch the news and all that, and you see um, a lot of emphasis being placed on um, immigrants and illegal immigrants and people, that whole thing. People are getting being harassed and sometimes assaulted, based off of their nationality or and their status, in the United States or whatever. When you see this, what do you does it concern you, and what are some of your thoughts when you see or hear about some of these experiences?
Okay. Well, like I said before, what the things that I do not have control over,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really allow it to bother me. But most times, what I do is I write it out and
Mm-hmm.
I post it. Like one of the posts that I wrote about was the darkest soul in America, a write up, pray for America. So I do the writing part and I post it just to show that what they are doing, it deep down as a human being, is not sitting well with me. And when it comes to the educational aspect, during my master's in military school, I specifically went into depth on the subject on immigrants and crime. I did research about it. The
Mm-hmm.
research came that illegal immigrants does not commit as much crime as the indigents. But when they do commit crime, they are hardly to be found in the system because they are not being documented. But
Mm.
they have, yes. So, based on the study and the illegal immigrant part of them do not commit crime because majority of these people, they are coming for a better tomorrow. So there is no leeway for them too. So in the statistically form is that the legal and both illegal and legal immigrants are have a low crime rate when compared to the indigents that are here. And even there is a crime that are caught, that means somebody from this side must have tutored somebody from this side on where to go to do it. An outsider cannot come in another country to carry out anything without somebody already here tutoring the person on where to go. Even if they say if they are immigrant, somebody that wasn't an immigrant at some point taught the immigrant that taught the other immigrants.
Okay.
you know. So I went in depth about it in doing my grad program. So from the educational perspective of it.
Wow, that's an amazing perspective, and I never thought about it that way before. But I definitely, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, absolutely,
Let's,
absolutely.
let's just say if you go to Nigeria now,
Mm-hmm.
you barely know your way around. What somebody have to show you what to do, how to do it. Somebody have to come pick you up from the airport in order for you to come in. If you are going through the fence, which there is no fence, somebody got to be watching out, making sure that you come in and nobody is catching you.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
as a criminal justice major, I'm not just looking at a crime. I am looking at who behind the scene is influencing that person. Because if we get rid of this person, the influencer will still bring somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to get rid of that root cause. And that is where everything ends, you know?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, that is a interesting take, and like I said, I never really thought about it that way, but that's very interesting. Um, what do you what do you think is your most important, or your most, or your best, or most powerful, whatever term you want to use? Um, what is your superpower when it comes to writing and creating? What is something that you feel is the center of what you're able to do?
Well, majority of my writing has always been centered around social issues,
Hmm.
you know, like the mystery of a stolen virginity. it was talking about the stigma of rape and how people from the continent deal with it. um, and guilty or not guilty is actually highlighting to our criminal justice system that there is a link between giftedness and crime because we are used to mental illness and crime. So my theory is indicating to them there is a link between giftedness and crime. So to me, it's more of looking to just unravel already existed
Hmm.
social issues and just turn it into a storytelling. Like the one that I'm working on now is Married to a Cop. We all know, maybe but most people know that the ups and downs of marrying a uniformed person, military, correction, police, name it. So now I am shining light on what are these obstacles that this women or this men are facing marrying a police officer. So it has been an ongoing social issue, but now I'm converting it into a storytelling. So
Amazing.
that so that's how my own writing stuff and creativity work.
You mentioned earlier when I asked you about your influences, and you mentioned Jesus. So I want to ask you, um, what role does your spirituality play in all of this? Like, what does your faith mean to you?
Um, it keeps me alive to be a human, for me not to lose my humanity, to know the right and wrong. In as much as in the law field, the right doesn't necessarily mean that you are violating the law, but morally you know that. So I it makes me to be morally aware of my actions and inactions and how it could affect another person and how hopefully I can make this planet a better place.
Awesome, awesome. What would you say is the most common misconception that people have about
Everything that I'm stupid because I laugh too loud.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, people, and that's funny because people, I guess people here in I guess in the United States, we're trained to be cool. You know, don't be too excited, don't get too emotional, don't play it cool, keep and so when you see a person that's happy and they're smiling and they're laughing and you tend to look at them like, what's wrong with them? Like, are they on
That
drugs? Are they, whatever? But I get it. I mean, I respect the fact that you're not afraid to be happy and show it and smile and laugh. I think that's missing in our society, and I think that that's a good a good thing to have about you. Like, that's a good trait to have, in you. There's joy. Yeah, I can look at you and see that there's, you have joy. You have like real joy. Like, there's no reason to go walk around with a stank face all day. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're happy. Don't pretend to don't pretend to be not to be happy when you are happy. That sounds really crazy. So
and people think that happy me doesn't have anything bothering me.
yeah, yeah. But
You know.
sometimes you gotta be able to smile through, and laugh through, whatever it is that you're going through. So I get it. I definitely understand it. Where can if somebody wants to get your, wants to support and buy your books, where can they find them?
My books are on Amazon, online retailers nationwide. Libraries like Morgan State, Carpenter State, University of Maryland, they are there. And here also in Maryland, public libraries like Baltimore City, Baltimore County is also there. My e-commerce website, All Mothers Writers, is also there. My Facebook is also there.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. I'm scared of you. I'm scared of you.
Trying.
um, with everything that you're able to do, that you've been able to accomplish, and all the success that you've seen, and everything that you've been able to overcome, you're coming from a totally different culture, a totally different place, and you've kind of inserted yourself and you've adapted on some in some ways, and in some ways you stayed, you stayed you. You know what I'm saying? Um, was it a struggle for you to maintain your identity? Like, did you ever feel like we were talking a second ago about how people have to be cool, you know what I'm saying, not emotional or whatever. Did you ever feel pressure to kind of change who you are? And if so, how did you, how did you get past that, or how did you navigate that?
That's a good question. And if I'm being honest, one doesn't know unless somebody on the other side tells them about it. Um, Sometimes people say, Americans say that you are half and half. Pick a side.
What does that
And
mean? Wait a minute. Hey, half and half. I don't understand. What do you mean?
and okay, half and half is someone that is half African culture and half American culture,
Hmm.
and they say is identity conflict. Sometimes they
Hmm.
call me identity conflict.
Okay.
They say pick a side, and I'm like, I can't because this too part of me, you
Right.
know. And when I go to the African community, they call me cutting two web.
Wow. What is okay? Is that the same? Is that the same? Like, is that saying the same thing as?
Yeah. But
Okay.
like a club web that is cut in between two planets.
Okay. Got you. Got you.
Yeah. So it just to me it just what is it just what it is. You know. Most times people don't really understand that when you bring a child from another country to America in with a certain age, um, for some reason the environment is going to influence them. Their background is everything is just going to like fumble into the same place.
Hmm.
So I hope that I answered your question. I'm like cutting between two web. Africans doesn't quite see me as 100% African woman. Americans don't see me as 100% them, which is okay. I'll be in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? I really respect that. I really, really, genuinely respect that, because it can't be that can't be easy. Like, that can't be easy. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. You know, experiencing that. That's really interesting.
it's
Um,
not. I
you
can
said
assure.
you
It's
said
not relationship wise. It's not. It's just what it is. At this point.
okay. Understood. Understood. What role does your family play in what you're doing? Like, how your parents, or if you have brothers and sisters, or cousins, like, wh- how do they, what has their support been like?
If I'm being honest, the way most, not all, especially from, they're different. You know, if that thing I'm doing to them, if it's not gonna bring a husband to come and marry me immediately,
Okay, understood. Okay, okay,
you're not speaking their language.
right, right, right. Got you.
So, I'm not speaking their language until it just,
You
but
understood.
it's just what it is. Um,
Understood. And again, I respect that because like I said, it can't be easy to be, you know, trying to cut your own path and you feel like it's just you. Like it feels like there's nobody there to say you can do it and cheer you on. It's more so you're being criticized for not being the same or not um creating your own lane. You know what I'm saying? For you're being criticized for creating your own lane, and you're being criticized for not being like everybody else. That has, like I said, that's very. I definitely really, really, really respect that.
but I also have like mentors
Mhm.
um, that are African Americans. I have females. I do have male mentors because I know the direction that I am in is more like they would understand, relate, and guide me better. And in return, when I go back to the African community, is a lot of kids like me in two wet, nobody gets them. I'm like, okay, I know exactly what you're trying to do. Let's move it here. And that's why I mentor a lot of first generation Nigerians or African Americans because I know how it feels like saying one thing, somebody brain is another thing, you know. So um, it has been a journey for me, but I do have mentors. Um, One of them is Mr. Cooper. Hi, Mr. Cooper, if you're watching me. And yeah, he has been a great source of everything, you know.
Okay. What would we be surprised to know about you?
Um, I don't really, people that knows me well know that they say you that cannot be predicted. You don't know what to expect from her. So people that knows me know that it just anything goes for me. You know, there's nothing gonna surprise them or anything. But
Okay.
if I become the president tomorrow, maybe.
Okay. Got you. Enough said. Enough said. Um, I really appreciate you coming on to the platform. Sometimes when I do this, I'm expecting one thing, but I get something else. And this is one of those times. Like I know that we're supposed to be talking about your books and your company, but I feel like I'm learning more about. In essence, I'm learning more about me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you. Some of the things that you said have like really sparked my thought process. Like you think about you spend your whole life thinking about things in a certain way, and then somebody comes along and kind of like challenges that in a good way, or tells you or shows you something that you might have missed, or you might not have seen it that way, and then somebody introduces it to you and you're like, whoa, I never thought about it like that. And I've had several moments just in this conversation. So like I definitely, like I said, I definitely can appreciate and respect, everything that you are doing, and being able to overcome people's um perception of you. You know what I'm saying? They might think, oh well, she might not be that smart, or maybe she might be crazy. I don't know. Whatever they might think. You know what I'm saying? But you continue to trailblaze, and I definitely respect that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I have one last question for you, and it's a question that I ask all my guests.
Okay,
I want you to think about it. Once I ask you, think about it and give me the most honest and transparent answer that you can possibly give me, okay?
sure.
And here's the question. What would have to happen in your life, if it hasn't happened already, for you to consider your life a success? What does success look like for you specifically?
Well, success to me is the ability to impact and
Mm,
extend to my neighbor's doorstep. That
mm,
is success because if I have and my neighbor have, there is no enmity, there is nobody robbing anybody because we all have. So that's what success means to me. And I have gone so many lengths to extend blessings to my neighbor's doorstep so that when they win, I win. That's what success means to me.
okay. Okay. Absolutely. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you, if somebody wanted to um, invest in your books, if somebody wanted to just maybe have you speak at an event or whatever, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how could they get in touch with you?
I am on Twitter. I'm also YouTube. You can email me. You can also Facebook or any every other way or even my website. Once you get inside my website, author chinyereuday.org and you type in, you're gonna actually I will receive the email. So anywhere and everywhere I am.
Absolutely. Well, again, Miss Chinyere, I appreciate you coming on and being so transparent and being so honest. I take my hat off to you, um, and because like I said again, I can't tell you enough how much I respect um, what you've been able to accomplish and what you've been able to do. I definitely respect that, and you definitely are like I'm sure you're an inspiration to all those that are around. And one of the greatest abilities that we should possess is the ability to impact. And you definitely strike me as the person who has a great ability to impact. So again, I thank you for coming on to the platform. I thank you for being so transparent and so honest. I thank you for sharing, your honest viewpoints on, things that are happening in the world right now. Um, I would like to extend to you an open invitation to come back again at another time to kind of go deeper because I feel like maybe haven't we didn't go, as deep as we could have gone. But I would love to extend to you an open invitation to come back whenever you see fit. If there's something else you want to talk about or promote, we also do panel interviews where I have several guests on and we talk about everything from dating to beauty to world events, you know, all these different things, finances, health, all these different things. I would love to have you, come on and put your 2 cents in on
Sure.
some of those panels. Um, so again,
I'm
thank
more than happy to. And thank you so much for having me. And guys, thank you so much for having me too.
you.
Bye.
Is there any last words you want us to leave with the people before we sign off?
Mhm. for having me. Bye.
Is there anything else you wanna say, leave with the people before we go? Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. But I want to thank her for coming on. Um, Shout out to Miss Chinyere. Um, please check out her movement. Check out the books that she's writing. Just check out her movement as a whole. She has an amazing story. Um, she is a trailblazer. She is definitely out of the box. She has overcome so many things that many people would call limitations, but she has navigated them apparently seemingly seamlessly. And that is amazing. So please, check out her movement, check out what she's doing, so into her. And as always, I want to encourage you, if there is something that you feel that is God given, a vision, a plan, a song, a script, a degree, a job, something that you dream about, something that God has shown you that you feel like is almost tangible. I encourage you to reach out and do that or be that. Where God give vision, He also provides provision. So don't be concerned with what you don't have. Use what you do have and allow that to manifest and grow into ultimately the plan that God has for you. So, with that being said, you guys, I want you to have an amazing weekend. I hope that you are safe, and we'll see you back here again um, next week. All right? Take care.